What is up, God is Good podcast? And today we have a topic to talk about, something that a lot of people are actually talking about. And man, I just want to say it is crazy the stuff that we are seeing online. But before we get started, make sure you hit that like button so this video can go out into the algorithm to people just like you and it can help this channel grow. And also, if you consider yourself a Christian or you want to know more about Jesus or about the faith, feel free to subscribe. Now, let's get into the topic. Um, Erika Kirk. A lot of people are talking about Erika Kirk. And me as a Christian, I I kind of just, sit back and see what people are talking about. I don't really get deep into it, to be honest. I'm not into conspiracy theories at all. Like I'm not. Um, but I will say when I did see her first video, her like speaking about Charlie Kirk death and just about him and stuff and all that, it was different. I will say that it was different. It was, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it, y'all. And look, all due respect to Erica Kirk. Like I really don't know how it feels to lose someone that close to you. I don't at all. Um, I'm pretty sure she was dealing with a lot of different emotions. Um, Anger, sadness, hope, all that. But at the same time, with all the people saying the stuff they are saying now, it kind of, I wouldn't say a confirmation, but it like sparked some thoughts that I had when I first saw her speaking. And I will say that I feel like I am gift I'm gift with uh a special gift of being able to like the gift of discernment. There we go. We gotta get too far fetched, but being able to read people, judgment and stuff. And sometimes I can overly spiritualize things. That's okay. I'm a human. Um, but it just really, when I watched her video, it was just something about the look in her eyes that kind of made me wonder, like, is this real? Um, is she really sad? She don't seem that sad. She seemed more angry. Um, it felt like as if something was behind the scenes and I just couldn't place my hand on it. And before y'all go in and come and be like, how dare you, blah, blah, blah. Look, I just want y'all to come into this with a humble mindset and an open mindset. Um, don't overly spiritualize this like I did. Don't cast judgment, but kind of try to see it for what it is. That's the best way I can put it. And it's just really, I don't know, it's just different. So let's take it to the live scene. Well, that thing always pop up. Let's take it to the live scene. And this is her first time speaking, and I'm pretty sure all of y'all have saw this. For the ones who didn't, just kind of just pay attention to the atmosphere. Pay attention to how she look and stuff, right? And I'll point it out as well. If y'all don't see it, I'll kind of point it out. Maybe you see it, maybe you don't. I don't know.
Jesus. Fill this room. Good evening. My name is Erika Kirk. Charlie Kirk is my husband. I first want to thank the local, state, and federal law enforcement who worked tirelessly to capture my husband's assassin so that he can be brought to justice. I want to thank the first responders who struggled heroically to save Charles's life, and the police who acted bravely to make sure that there were no other victims on that terrible afternoon. I want to thank the officer.
And we're going to go back a little bit. Let's see. When I first, I don't know. I mean, she obviously had very pretty eyes, but it just, it just kind of scary at the same time, to be honest. And I know people who have like really pretty eyes, and it can be like, whoa, this is kind of scary. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Um, and I feel like, this part of the video, y'all, of course, y'all probably think I'm trying to go deep in the rabbit hole, and I'm really not. I promise I'm not. Um, it just, I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll get more into it.
Was powerful before. You here in Phoenix, he wants you to make a difference. And you can. You can. The movement's not going anywhere, and it will only grow stronger when you join it. Nobody is ever too young to get involved with saving this beautiful country, this country my husband loved and still loves. And nobody is ever too old either. There's no age limit. I know my husband is still here. He's watching over us. I don't remember the last time I slept. I couldn't sleep last night. And Charlie, baby. Charlie, I promise I will never let your legacy die, baby. I won't. I promise I'll make Turning Point USA the biggest thing that this nation has ever seen. I promise.
It's just, she's angry. But I don't know. I don't know. I understand she's angry. But and I'm pausing between this because I'm really trying to discern this. And I know y'all probably like confused by like, what are you trying to get to? And so just want y'all to kind of remember that a little bit. But I came across this video and it was weird. It was weird. It threw me off. It threw me off.
Ever since Charlie Kirk died.
This is from The Truth Is, and this guy, I have watched some of his video before, and yeah, see, it's too many people, too many people, too many people making videos like body language reaction to. Let's just see. I just want to see what he say about this part, the forgive them part. I'm sorry, y'all. I just saw something else.
Young men.
After that, as she says, just like the one who took his life, so Charlie wanted to save young men, just like the one who took his life, the first universal emotion makes an appearance. Now, the universal emotions are emotions that have been studied all over the world, and the research shows that they look more or less the same everywhere in the world and have very high recognizability anywhere you go. In other words, these are emotions that are so deeply embedded in human behavior that we see them in all cultures. And in this case, we are seeing anger. And let me show you how we could spot that. So,
Yeah, I'm about to say anger. See, I guess that confirmed, of course, and then I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all would be like, of course you'll be angry. Like I would be angry too. Yeah, a lot of us would. So
first off, you'll notice after that statement, immediately, we notice tension in the jaw. So we see the muscles here in the jaw kind of tense up. The other thing you'll notice is that her eyebrows are down like this, which is another sign of anger. And what's interesting is when I ask people during my seminars, what do you think the two most important signs are that someone's experiencing
I want to know what he said about the part when she said she forgot.
anger? Those are the two. Concentration. Sudden, you head and is holding it in. They don't want to say it. With Erika here, as she's looking at the crowd and we see that lip retraction, we're seeing like this, or see this in a group, consistent, that retraction action. In this case, was held. So, but there's a big difference with this one. Retractions are very that we do because when we randomly a conversation, either of these things,
Come on.
success up as she looks up, which is very common. But in this case, the eyebrows are down, very long stretch. The conversation because when we're stressed, our mouth dries out, and licking the lips corrects that. Secondly, it falls into a category of gestures called grooming gestures. And these are gestures that we do to fix our appearance. And licking the lips brings more color to them and makes us more presentable. Now, lip retractions are very interesting because they could have one that we saw action. In this case, she licked the lips and then she held that retraction for quite a bit. And when a lip retraction or compression is held, it's very consistent with disagreement or withheld opinion. We very often see this in a group where people are discussing something and you notice at the corner of your eye that someone's sitting there like like this or like this, especially with that little bit of a side head tilt. That is very often someone who disagrees with what's being said and is holding it in. They don't want to say it. With Erika here, as she's looking at the crowd and we see that lip retraction, we're seeing some kind of conflict between her emotions and what she's about to say. And again, there are a lot more signs of that. It's not just the lip retraction, that wouldn't be enough. It's these eye blocks, these deep breaths that we see again right after that lip retraction. She looks down with another deep exhale. It's also the fact that she keeps repeating, that young man, like she's trying to get through this. Another thing I want to throw in here is that she keeps referring to the assassin as that man, that young man, and not just once, she says it numerous times. And this is called psychological distancing. She never uses his name. She never says Tyler Robinson. Now, all I could tell you is what that is. The why requires some speculation. Psychological distancing is normally any time that we're trying to put distance between us and a thought. So in interrogation, someone might say something like, I can't remember the last time I saw that person, instead of using their name. Or, no, I would never take anything from there, instead of saying steal. Like you disconnect a little bit more from what it is by using a softer term. And in this case, it could indicate just a psychological distance that she wants to put between her and this person. It could also indicate that she might think that there was something else. Somebody else might have been implicated or something along those lines. I can't tell you why it's happening, but I can tell you that she's using language to distance herself from that man, that young man. Then she looks up with another deep breath. She says, on the cross our Savior said, and then we see something very unique. It looks like there's tension in the lips. And at first glance, it might look like this is a lip compression or even a mouth shrug. But if you really pay attention, the tension is not coming from the mouth. It's not this. She's not squeezing those lips together. The tension is coming from the chin boss. So the chin is tensing up and it's pushing the lips up more like that. And that chin boss, that tension in the chin that pushes the bottom lip up, is one of the most reliable indicators of sadness all over the world. And this isn't something that most people know to do. So when most people try to like fake being sad, they use the lips and they go like this. They don't realize that the reason our mouth does that is because the chin tenses up and pushes that bottom lip upwards, making that shape. So here that sadness is setting in. We're seeing it in the chin.
Interesting.
And then we get the best evidence that she is entirely in an emotional state right now, because she misquotes the Bible. She says, Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do. Now this quote is not just a Bible quote, it's one of the most famous ones. It's all over the movies, it's all over poetry, it's pretty much everywhere. And most people know that the quote is,
Bro, we're gonna watch this whole thing. This is really interesting. I'm just saying. Let's watch this part.
and then she finally says it and surrenders to that emotion. She looks down, she starts to cry, and we see a lot on her face. There are some of those things left over from anger, some tension in the jaw, the eyebrows down. It's also at this point where the gestures associated to sadness make an appearance. And the way you want to look for sadness is in a few ways. One, a general droopiness on the face. Two, we talked about it earlier, but that chin bossing, causing that bottom lip to come up. But three, and this is the most important one, is the inner corners of the eyebrows. With sadness, the muscle called the glabella, that's up here, gets activated, it tenses up, it causes these little U-shaped lines on the forehead, and it pulls the upper eyelids closer together and up. This is something that's very difficult to fake. Very few actors could do it, but even for me, I have to hold this down to kind of show you what it looks like. And I know a lot of you are trying to fake it right now at home. And sometimes people come to me and go, oh my God, I could do it. And they can't. They think they can. But basically, it's just the inner corners coming in like this with a dip on the line of the forehead. Now,
There's some good stuff. And I'm glad I ran into this video. Because now we are getting some answers about her emotions. That, yeah, she is feeling angry. Yes, she's sad. This is not fake. Like, these are real emotions, right? So, like I said, the first video, you could tell she was like, you could just tell she was angry. Like, just it's just something was off. And it was anger. It was anger. Um, you know, especially when you watching a Christian speak, to see them angry, it would just throw you off, right? Like if we see an angry Christian, it kind of throw you off because we all think of Christians. People think of us as happy, joyous, free, but no, we get angry and we get sad. We have emotions. So we know the emotions are real. You say you can't fake it. All right. But now let's watch this video.
Ever since Charlie Kirk died, naturally his widow, Erika Kirk, has become the center of attention. All this attention on Erika has led her to become the subject of discussion amongst many. She is a grieving widow, but according to many, she doesn't seem like it, as all over social media, people have been reacting to her strange public behavior after the death of her husband, who was the father of her children.
That's the thing. They said she's not, but we see that those emotions are real, right? So it just make you wonder, like, are people just looking for stuff, or are people do people see stuff that others don't? I don't know, but we're gonna continue to watch this video, and I'm not gonna lie, like, after watching that behavior thing, it kind of gave me a sense of ease, like, to clarify. It clarified, like, it was like kind of like a confirmation that, yeah, she was angry, like, um. even though that was obvious, but that was the off atmosphere that I was getting. Like it wasn't. It's just it was so weird because when she first made that video, I feel like she just lost for words, pretty much. You know, trying to be strong and trying to hide emotions, and she's trying to hide that emotion, but at the same time she's angry. Especially, I'm pretty sure she saw a lot of things people were saying about her husband. She was angry. She was really angry. Probably hated the world. Um, it's just pain, at that moment. But let's see what The people gotta say.
children. This has led people to believe that maybe there's more to Erika that the public doesn't know about. After looking deeper into Erika, I started noticing several strange coincidences that had me questioning her entirely. Where did she come from? And how did she marry Charlie? And what is her connection to Trump? What I found seems to prove that Erika isn't who she seems to be. Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to The Truth Is, where I drop new videos exposing the truth weekly. In today's episode, we will be talking about Erika Kirk. But before we begin, I just wanted to let my Patreon members know, I just released a new Patreon exclusive about the ritual behind Kirk's death. In this video, I was able to expose the truth about this entire situation, being able to expose everything I needed without the worry of censorship. If you're one of my members, you won't want to miss this video. You can find the link in the description and in the comment section. I want to thank you all. Now, let's get right into it. I want to start this by saying I'm not trying to be insensitive or disrespectful. I understand that people grieve differently and that death is a touchy subject. Those who have watched me for years now know that I have no malice intentions with my content. I simply am a man with a mission to find and deliver the truth. The fact that I see things differently and certain things tend to stand out to me allow me to see what others can't see. And I have been looking deep into this, and those of you who saw my Patreon video saw how I exposed the truth behind Charlie Kirk's death. I can confidently say the public is not being told the truth when it comes to this situation. I understand that people love Charlie, but people also have to understand that this world isn't what it seems. This is exactly what I proved about Charlie, and it's what I'm gonna prove about Erika Kirk today. By now, most of you have likely heard the news that Erika Kirk was a part of the Miss USA beauty pageant. She won Miss Arizona back in 2012 when she was only 23. This likely was her first introduction to Donald Trump, who owned Miss USA, purchasing it in.
And mind y'all, while we watch this video, I just want y'all to think of two words: prophecy and conspiracy theories. I just want y'all to just pay attention to those two words, because it's very important as we watch this, because sometimes things can seem like one thing, but it's another. So I just want y'all to just think of that.
1996 until he sold it in 2015. Now, years after she was Miss USA, she ended up meeting Charlie Kirk back in 2018 when he flew out to New York City to interview her for a job at Turning Point USA. He then asked her on a date, and then 3 years later he married her. This is how they claim their love story began. Well, at least that's what they want us to believe. See, after all the research I've done into this case, I don't believe Charlie and Erika's relationship is organic at all. I believe she's a honeypot partnered with Charlie by those behind Kirk. It's not a coincidence that Kirk ended up marrying a woman who was associated with Trump. Erika Kirk was a part of Trump's pageant show. Trump admitted himself that he had interactions with models on the pageant. In fact, he seemed to suggest that he was more than friendly with them, claiming that he would walk into the dressing rooms while the women were getting dressed. It wouldn't be far-fetched to think Trump was likely hooking up with these models, as it wouldn't be unlike Trump. Just listen to what he said when he was talking about them.
They're standing there with no clue. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that. I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it.
They're like
Everything
doctors.
is good like that.
Give us the first letter of the country you had sex with.
How many letters are there?
What's interesting is that a model who had once won Miss Arizona in the past had accused Trump of possibly being inappropriate.
In 2001, Tasha Dixon was Miss Arizona, competing in the Miss USA pageant. She experienced this kind of awkward moment firsthand.
Our first introduction to him was when we were at the dress rehearsal and half naked changing into our bikinis.
Dixon was 18 at the time and says watching Trump storm into a dressing room was shocking.
To have the owner come waltzing in when we're naked or half naked in a very physically vulnerable position, and then to have the pressure of the people that work for him telling us to go fawn all over him, go walk up to him, talk to him, get his attention. Who do you complain to? He owns the pageant. So there's no one to complain to. Everyone there works for him.
Now, I'm not saying Trump hooked up with Erika, but I am saying it wouldn't be far-fetched if he did. What we know for sure is that Erika was in Trump's circles since at least 2012. When you look into Charlie Kirk, you find out that he was also in Trump's circle since he was born. Charlie Kirk's father, Robert W. Kirk, was actually an architect and owned the company that designed the Trump Tower in New York City. The Trump Tower was built back in the 1980s before Charlie was even born, clearly linking the Kirk family to Donald Trump from at least the 80s. This explains how Charlie became one of the biggest conservative commentators ever. While he always appeared to be so blindly loyal to Trump, he had Trump support since the beginning of his career. This is because he was chosen for this role long ago, and I fully explained this in my Patreon video. I believe Charlie and Erika were placed together. It's like we see from Hollywood, as they are known to set up celebrity relationships. It's all strategic. Now, when looking into Erika's parents, you also find a government connection. Erika admitted out of her own mouth that her mother had moved them to Arizona when she was young because she started working with the government.
The question is, off topic, how did your mom choose Phoenix?
So she chose to move to Phoenix from Ohio because there was more of an opportunity for a female business owner out here, especially from the standpoint of she was getting involved with the government, so Homeland Security and Department of Defense.
It is speculated that her mother might have worked for the NSA, but I wasn't able to verify this. This isn't where her family government ties end either. It turns out that Erika's father also worked for the government as well. He worked at AZ Tech International as a program research director, with the company receiving a government contract with the Department of Defense, meaning her father also worked for the government. Erika's grandfather also worked for the government too. Carl Kenneth Franzi served in the army as an engineer. He then later worked as the vice president of manufacturing at an American banknote company. Erika's family has strong government ties. It's no surprise she ended up involved with Trump. This is the first thing that stands out to me as suspicious and a red flag. We know that when people have strong government ties, it usually isn't a coincidence they end up in a place of massive influence. Something else that stuck out to me as an obvious red flag was her use of Masonic gestures and symbols. We already know what signs and symbols to look for to identify members of the Freemasons. The most common secret gesture they do is the one-eye symbolism. We know what these symbols mean and why they are doing them. Erika Kirk, like many others in Hollywood or in politics, has a photo doing the one-eye symbolism. As you can see, she is covering one of her eyes. This Masonic pose is done to show alliance to the Masonic order. It represents one of the most recognizable symbols of Masonry.
I don't think she was really posing that, to be honest. I think it was just the angle of the picture.
The all-seeing eye. Erika Kirk also has been seen wearing interesting jewelry. Many people have been questioning her online about two rings she has been seen wearing next to each other. One of the rings has a big capital M and is sitting next to another ring with a capital G on it. Again, this connects directly to the Freemasons. Believe it or not, this is a very telling photo. Erika purposely wore this massive hip-hop style rings with the letter M and G. Women don't normally wear these kinds of rings. This is more like male jewelry. Women usually wear smaller rings as they tend to have smaller fingers. Yet, Erika wore these huge rings that are easier to see in photos and on camera. If she was wearing smaller rings, we most likely wouldn't be able to make them out. She wore them so big because
Ain't that a different, like, I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna say, ain't that M is like a Michael Kors? There's a there's a M and G Jewelry Inc. No, he's only got 5,000 followers. Um, the M could mean anything, to be honest. The M could mean Mary. And G could be God. Well, no.
She purposely wanted people to see these letters on her ring. So what does the M and the G mean? The M likely represents Master Mason, with the G representing the capital G in the middle of the Masonic square and compasses, which is the main emblem in Masonry. She is clearly wearing these rings to show her Masonic alliance. Also to indicate that what happened to Charlie Kirk is all connected to Masonry. I explained exactly what I mean by this in my Patreon exclusive video. Now what you need to know that makes all of this even more calculated is that the G actually has a secret meaning. Masons tell the uninitiated that the G just represents God. That is not true. It actually represents the number 7, as G is the 7th letter of the alphabet. The reasons the Masons use the number 7 or the letter G is due to their obsession with pagan god worship. The number 7 represents the 7 planetary gods, which were the 5 visible planets: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, and the sun and the moon. You might have noticed Kirk had hats with the number 47 on it, claiming it was in honor of Donald Trump, the 47th president. But again, that is the explanation for the uninitiated. Its true reason is rooted in alchemy and masonry. The 47 represents the 4 elements of alchemy, and the 7 represents the planetary gods, both which are at the core of masonry and the occult. 4 is another important number in masonry and the occult, as it refers to the 4 elements of alchemy: fire, water, earth, and air. This is the real reason why they had these hats with the number 47 at Charlie Kirk's event the day he died. The 7 again ties back to the letter G and the 7 planetary gods, which is the same letter that Erika had on her ring, with the 4 leading back to alchemy and the 4 elements. Charlie Kirk was showing his alliance with his use of the number 47. What's interesting is that the rapper Capital Steez from Pro Era also incorporated the number 47 in his work. Capital Steez made logos of the number 47 and even dropped his album on April 7th, 4/7. More disturbingly, Capital Steez actually ended it all on December 23rd, 2012. When you add that up, it equals 47, as 12 plus 23 plus 12 equals 47. The number 47 is directly connected to the occult and ritual practices. That is the real reason Kirk had those hats with the number 47 on the table. The hats Charlie had on the table that day of his death, and the rings Erika had on, are clear connections to masonry. Now things become even more clear when you look at what Erika Kirk did with Donald Trump. Now I know there's a lot of debate regarding what gesture Erika did while at Charlie Kirk's memorial service with Trump. Some people thought that this hand gesture was rooted in the occult and masonry, calling it the horn hand gesture, with the media and the rest of the masses defending Erika Kirk, claiming it's just a gesture for I love you in sign language. Now even though I don't see why she would be saying I love you right at that moment, this gesture is sign language for I love you. But this hand gesture is also used by occultists and Freemasons. Now considering all the other indicators that Erika and Charlie are Freemasons, I believe she did this for the same reason she did the one-eye symbolism, and the same reason she wore those Masonic rings. She is showing her Masonic alliance, and that everything that happened to Charlie Kirk is rooted in Masonry. Now I know some people are going to say that Masonry is a man-only secret society, but those people don't know about the Order of the Eastern Star, which is the female chapter of Masonry. Erika Kirk is most likely a part of the Eastern Star, with Charlie being a Freemason. Now I know we have spoken about the movie Snake Eyes and how it predicted Charlie Kirk's death in my last video, but now there's another piece of content that once again seems to have foreshadowed what happened to Kirk. People have dug up an old music video Erika Kirk was a part of. The video is a 13-year-old music video for a song by a band named Emerson Drive. Erika Kirk is seen in the music video playing a bride and hanging out with the artist, with people pointing out a strange detail they noticed during the end of the video. As in the end of the video, Erika Kirk is seen riding a zip line past the number 910. 910, which is September 10th, is the same day Charlie Kirk was killed. On top of this, people notice an eerie comment Erika left on the music video, as she wrote this in the comment: "What a blast Tyler and I had shooting this video with you guys. We are so grateful to have been a part of this incredible video. You're all amazing and so down to earth. We are honored to have had this opportunity. Love you guys." Think about what she said here. What a blast Tyler and I had shooting this video. Tyler just so happened to be the same name of the man who's accused of shooting Charlie Kirk. Now to make this entire thing even more eye-opening, the music video is exactly 3 minutes and 22 seconds long. clearly pointing at the Masonic number 322, which is at the core of the Skull and Bones organization and seen in their logo. The Skull and Bones was started by members of the Freemasons, and it's a secret society that has produced many presidents. Think about this. In this video, she zip lines past the number 910, the very day her husband gets murdered, and in the video, she is seen marrying a man. Then she comments about a man named Tyler having a blast and shooting a video. Now obviously this video was foreshadowing Kirk's death, but what makes all of this more eerie and confirms this was all a ritual is when you calculate the days in between this music video and the day that Charlie Kirk died. If you add it up, it equals 4,797. Again, showing us the number 47, just like we saw with Capital Steez. If you guys want a full video on Capital Steez and the number 47, comment 47 below. It's clear this entire situation was a ritual, calculated using geometry and planned out long before. Come on guys, please tell me you guys are seeing this. Add this with the movie Snake Eyes connection, and you start to see that all of this was truly ritualistic. Now, people have also been talking about what Candace Owens has been claiming about Tyler Robinson, as she claims she has proof Tyler was never at the school that day and isn't the shooter. She is now claiming he is being framed and that all of this is false. Again, I'm not a fan of Candace Owens, and I don't honestly trust her, but I have been saying this since day one, since they announced that Tyler was a suspect. It just isn't believable to me. The people who are truly behind what happened to Charlie are the ones pulling the strings. It's clear that Charlie, nor his wife Erika, were what they seem to be. Now, if you're one of my members...
Yeah, that's a lot to unpack. Very interesting. Man, I just wonder, like, who have the time to really just sit there and try to, like, put together the pieces of puzzle. Like, who comes up with this type of stuff? Like, there are people out there that really take their time out of their day to put together something like this. It's very interesting, that's for sure. But I just want to go back to the word prophecy and conspiracy theory. You know, throughout the Bible, you see prophecies, right? Some are fulfilled and some still haven't. But there's tons of prophecies, and there's prophecies still happening today. Could this have just been a prophecy? Could this have been a prophecy that people see, but they use as conspiracy theory, not realizing that, you know, God, He tell us when our time is up. No man can. He have control of that. So, what if that was a prophecy of showing that there was going to be division and the birth of the church? You know, seeing a birth in the church, not of the church, but in the church. Because a lot of people came to Christ after this. A lot of people did. But also a lot of people, you know, there was division that started, and also people's hearts was exposed. Remember in my last video, or the one before, I talked about how Satan can use Charlie Kirk death as a way to divide people. Maybe this was just a prophecy that people didn't know was happening. You know? I'm just saying. Because stuff happened. prophecy happens all the time. God can send out warnings. It just, I don't want to go too crazy into that rabbit hole. And I don't want y'all either. So don't get caught up on stuff like this and trying to figure out if it's real or not. Because also, I feel like conspiracy theory can be a way to distract you from God. And then you'll just be there trying to, you know, unlock a conspiracy theory and not focusing on God. And people can turn away from God. I'm like, oh, all this is stuff is government control, and there's people out there that believe that stuff is controlled by the government and stuff, and this is all like a simulation and stuff, and they don't believe. I don't know if they believe in God, but they just don't believe in biblical stuff. Um, don't fall for that. What I will say is we gotta stay focused on Jesus. At the end of the day, none of this, like, I ain't gonna say it don't matter, because what matters, I think, out of the big thing we could take out of this whole thing that happened with Charlie Kirk and everything is that there was people that came to Christ. A lot of people came to Christ after that. That's a win. That's a win. That's a win in the kingdom. That is a win. That is the most important thing ever out of this whole thing. You got to set your mind on Jesus. You got to that what we need to focus on. Like we can see these things happening, but like, do they really matter? Not really. Only thing that matters is people coming to Christ. Like that's a win. Like good. That's something to praise about right there. Right? That's something to praise Jesus about. Praise our Lord and Savior. Because a lot of people came to Christ. So yeah, I just wanted to break down that video. Not even break it down, but give you my thoughts on the video because y'all gonna see a lot of crazy stuff out there, man. You're gonna see a lot of stuff. You're gonna see a lot of conspiracy theory stuff. You wanna see it. Don't get distracted by it. Uh, this video was solely just to basically show us that hey, or to show y'all that hey, there could be something weird going on, but let's focus on Jesus. At the end of the day, let's do that. And I just want to come with a humble heart to say that in the beginning of this video, I will admit, like, I think I was kind of pulling towards what the what ifs and again kind of pulled also because it's entertaining, right? And it's interesting, and I was getting pulled to that conspiracy theory. Cause it will grab onto you. I mean, you'll be like, whoa, what in the world? And I try not to over spiritualize things, but I'm glad I saw that behavior video. There's a reason why I saw that video. God wanted me to see that to show me that those are real emotions that she was having. Those are real emotions she was having. I believe she was sad and angry, for sure. Whether it was a setup or not, I believe she was sad and angry. Um, but was this a sacrifice? I don't. Yeah, only sacrifice I can see, because Charlie Kirk was talking about their kids. They were going to be had to be there would have to be sacrificed through gun violence so we can exercise the Second Amendment. This was a sacrifice for many to come to Christ. Many came to Christ. Many people came to Christ. This was a sacrifice um, to expose people's hearts. He sacrificed his life um, for people, for the world, to bring people together. I don't think he meant to divide people. I hope not. But, yes, the enemy can be tricky. He can use people. He can use, if we're not careful, he can use a Christian. But I know at the end of the day, God is king. Jesus is king. There's no other power greater than our Lord and Savior himself. So that's all I just want to share. I hope everyone have a great night. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm out.